Good morning, everyone. It's December 5th, and we're here at the Arch offices in Keeseville, and we've got a small project to do today, and that is that these massive 9'6" front doors that you open to get into the building have become kind of sticky because something has happened. The threshold is swollen up, or the bottom of the door is swollen up, and the only way to really deal with it is to take the doors off their hinges, plane them down a little bit, paint the bottoms so that water doesn't continue to get in there, and hang them back up and hope that you've done everything right. So we've taken these very heavy doors off, the four of us. We've taken some of the hardware off so it doesn't interfere with the planing that we need to do. And that's about it. Now we're going to fire up the plane and plane the doors off a little. Oh. We've got a lot of great photographs of this complex of buildings, and here's one that's probably about 1863, and it shows what the building looked like in its earliest days. And then you turn and notice the big eagle on the top of the building, and that's from the time when this was called the Eagle Horse Nail Company, and this was their mascot, their symbol. And then about 10 years later, we think, the street level outside was changed, and so they had to redo the configuration of doors and windows on the front of the building. And this is as it looks today, and here are the set of doors that we're working with right now. And these people hanging out in front of the building, we think, are principals in this company, and they were out being proud of this place that they owned and operated.
Do we know the date of this photograph?
We think this is probably about 1870 or 80. This change happened fairly early in the history of the building, as far as we know.
And do these doors date to that photograph?
They do, yeah. So most of the problem with this door seems to be on this end, so I'm going to concentrate on planing this end of the bottom of the door, but I'm going to take a little bit off all the way along so that we're sure that it operates properly. And the way this door will be weatherized after it's installed is we'll put some weather stripping on the back side of the door, and that's what will really keep the wind and the cold out to some extent.
So what should we be looking for?
So one of the things you can see here is, in a way, these rust marks tell you where the door has really been sticking, and because this is where the sort of friction has been happening. But because this door didn't open and close as much as the other one, we don't have as much evidence of that here. So we're just going to do the best we can. I'm using an electric planer, not a traditional tool, obviously, but really gets the job done.
How much are you trying to take off?
You know, even though I've made a bunch of passes, I bet with each pass it's probably only taking off a 64th of an inch or something like that. So, you know, it's better to take a little bit off each time and do it gradually. You can change the setting on the plane so it goes deeper with each pass, but this seems to be my instincts say this is the better way to do it. I don't have with me today is a real straight edge, but I can see by my eye that there's still sort of a bulge here in the middle, and I'm going to go back at that a little harder. Good enough.
So how do you know when you've taken off enough?
Well, what I did with the first door is I looked at the door when it was in position, and I could see underneath the door where it was rubbing, and I drew a pencil line in those areas that were where the biggest problems seemed to be. And I didn't do that here. I just sort of felt as we opened the door where most of the rubbing took place, and tried to take more off here, for instance, than over here. And again, I think it's better to have a little bit of a, more of a gap than less of a gap, I guess. We're going to use a water-based primer, mainly because we had it on hand. Easier to clean up. It does a perfectly good job of sealing the wood.
And why are we painting this?
The idea here is that we're going to try to keep, these doors are very close to the sidewalk and the threshold outside, and water has a tendency to run down the street and kind of pocket in this area here, and so there's more water getting near this door than we'd like, and this is just a way to try to keep the water out, because we don't want this swelling, we don't want it deteriorating, and we're just taking some precautions. Oftentimes for a door this old, that's 145 years old, that's exposed like this, sometimes you find that the bottom of the door has been repaired because this rots, and you can see they put in a new piece there, and it's been pegged to the bottom of the door, because 95% of it will be perfectly fine, and this is where the deterioration is. I don't